Albert Einstein. Humanity is lucky to have not lived through a cataclysm yet, but mankind has been fascinated with imagining the apocalypse. You are all used to hearing apocalyptic stories described by legacy media, like radio programs, TV shows, books, and movies. However, new digital media, like video games, serve as a more interactive, immersive medium that people can directly change and affect. They show how humanity might dive headfirst into a bleak new world and how we may cope with that reality. My name is Seward, and today I will be discussing how video games serve as a reflection of our own apocalyptic realities and what the future might hold for our world. To start, we need to talk about the pre-apocalypse within 3 different video game franchises, those being Fallout, Cyberpunk, and The Last of Us. Let me paint you a picture of the pre-apocalypse, one beginning with war. War never changes. The world's natural resources are depleting, the rich are only getting richer, while the poor are only getting poorer. And a nation with imperialistic visions wants a land filled with precious oil that is rapidly running out. Tensions are rising among great nations, greed overpowering humanity. The U.S.'s population accepts the fact that violence is normalized, and some are even giddy about that fact. The elite seem to be the only ones aware of the incoming conflict among the world powers, preparing great measures to ensure only the wealthiest live. From luxury underground bunkers to theoretical space colonies, no plan is too absurd. This is how the pre-apocalypse is imagined in the Fallout game series. China invades Anchorage, the US annexes Canada, and in October of 2077, the world ends in a nuclear war. After this fiery and abrupt end, some US cities are still left intact, while others are leveled. Humanity has fallen and must be repaired. Within this new world, when humans emerge from shelters built by a corrupt corporation, the rich continue exploiting those who survived, and violent groups prey on the weak to amass more scarce resources. Fallout's approach to the post-apocalyptic genre is that we would not change, that even after US society is destroyed and there is no governing body, we would continue our violence. As each Fallout game states, war never changes. Now, let me paint you the scene of the next game, one that shows how humanity has begun to fall apart. Giant advanced cities rise above hot desert wastelands, crime in every street and alleyway. Companies develop complex weapon systems, vehicles, in almost all aspects of life, but only for those rich enough. Life here, it absolutely sucks. The rich eat the poor until there's nothing left. Street kids join gangs. The gangs breed a dying insurrection, and the corporations snuff the opposition out before it can even gain support. People flock to cities with the hopes of fame, riches, and prosperity, but are exploited, abused, and then left out to die with no way out. Welcome to Night City, in the world of the game, Cyberpunk 2077. This game is the embodiment of how the United States would be if capitalism went unchecked. It reflects our world having corporations of immense political and social power. Within the world of Cyberpunk, capitalism has gone so far that there is a lack of centralized government. The city itself broke off from the rest of the US, not bound by its rules any longer. As a result, corporations act as the government and crime is constant. Ever more searching for profits, the mega corporations don't care about the people within the city. Sound familiar? Now, how about a world that has already fallen and is overtaken by apocalyptic forces? The world is ravaged by an infection, leaving humanity weak and overtaken. Within a short amount of time, government officials panic, and a cure is proving to be more difficult than anyone could imagine. This is the story of the Last of Us games. A fungal infection has spread worldwide and destroyed humanity's chokehold on the earth, reducing humans to zombie-like beings. The story is of a man named Joel, trying to open back up to the world after his daughter passed away the night the epidemic began. Ellie, a girl he has taken to fathering, is just 14 and knows not of the old world that hasn't been ravaged by fungi, only its remnants. The story of The Last of Us is less about the infection and more about how humanity is trying to show love in the midst of the worst nightmare anyone could imagine. So how does this connect to our understanding of the world and human history? Species have risen up and fallen because of many mass extinction events throughout Earth's history, but we are the only ones with the capabilities of causing our own demise. Now let me reassure you that what I described within these 3 video game franchises is fictional and outlandish. Much of the story points are likely to never occur in our reality. However, it's important to recognize that the barrier between fiction and reality is fairly thin when discussing the pre- and post-apocalyptic stories. The World of Fallout presents a tongue-in-cheek criticism of American disaster capitalism, where the rich and powerful use their immense wealth to escape the worldwide damage they caused. Within reality, we have Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos creating rocket ships to escape a dying Earth. Cyberpunk 2077 is a funhouse mirror of the real world. The game plays up the same sort of American disaster capitalism to a zany and blunt degree. Within the world of Cyberpunk, having capital is needed in order to survive. Everything must be bought and paid for if people want the ability to live, with increasingly higher prices for needs like healthcare, food, medicine, and housing, just to list a few. Corporations essentially own and run the world, having great influence over governments and anyone within any country. Now, that sounds a little far-fetched, doesn't it? How can even just one company be able to dictate a government into acting one way, or make people have to pay just to get the means to survive? Of course, it's not all that far-fetched. Healthcare is an expensive necessity, while life-saving medicines like insulin are priced much higher than it costs to make and are out of reach for most who need them. Now, The Last of Us, no matter how improbable a fungal zombie infection may be, still has connections to our world. After the infection started in the game, some of the world's governments didn't take it seriously, which resulted in a catastrophic loss of human life as the fungi, cordyceps, took over anyone through consumed grain, while other governments took it too seriously and began bombing civilians in an attempt to slow the spread. Powerful institutions and people have done similar things in real-world history, such as downplaying the damage of COVID-19 or even blocking entire access to a country or location based on how many were infected there. Along with that, governments and people haven't always taken climate change as seriously as needed. Media gives us a look into the minds of humans imagining our own end. Each of the 3 games previously mentioned have details that connect to events in our world. Some parts even seem impossible. They give us warnings of what could be to come while diving into a world destroyed by greed, war, and humanity's hubris. World War IV may very well be fought with nothing less than sticks and stones. Thank you.